Welcome to Philly Tech Connect podcast, where Philly's tech minds meet. CEOs, developers, dreamers. This is your space. Each week, we explore the journeys of tech innovators. Join us and be inspired.
Hey everyone, Dave here. Today I'm speaking with Taher Hassonjee, the CEO and founder of DocDraft, a company that provides automated legal document and drafting solutions. His work focuses on leveraging technology to streamline and simplify the legal document creation process, reducing the time and cost for businesses and individuals. Taher, how are you doing today?
Great, Dave. Thanks so much for having me on. Glad to
It,
be here.
yeah, it's a pleasure. It's an interesting solution. It feels kind of disruptive in the legal space.
Yeah, I sure hope so.
Yeah, well, that's the goal, right? And so as I was researching your background, I noticed that prior to this, you were leading business development at an RV marketplace. So relatively unrelated field, if I'm not mistaken. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about your background and how you got into DocDraft.
Yeah. So before DocDraft, as you mentioned, I was the head of business development, corporate development at a company called RVShare. So what we did at RVShare was simple to understand, a little harder to execute, which was that we were basically an Airbnb for RVs. We helped individuals from all walks of life, all parts of the globe, rent RVs from other individuals and then drive them around the country. And so, was there for about 3 years, was lucky to be there doing a really good run for the company. By the time I left, we were about the 20th largest private marketplace in the world. We had recently raised $100 million from KKR. So I was lucky to be there doing kind of a steep growth curve for the company. But yeah, I think so, obviously very different field, but I think there is a lot of similarities and parallels, ironically, in what we do here at DocDraft. And so kind of fast forwarding to what we do at DocDraft, we basically help people draft complex legal documents in just a few minutes. We do that through a combination of our software, but then also give them the ability to easily have an attorney review the document and provide feedback and guidance on it. That's our business in a nutshell, but I think the similarities really lie in a few different areas. Firstly, we're obviously a marketplace at DocDraft as well, and so there's kind of some carryover there. But I think the core components are around servicing the consumer and just making things easier for them. So in the case of RVShare, it was just really challenging to figure out how to rent an RV prior to RVShare. And similarly for DocDraft, like it's really complicated and hard to draft legal documents on your own. And yet 75% plus of people on civil matters are self-representing, which definitionally means they're drafting the documents by themselves and kind of navigating this challenging process on their own. And they're doing it without any attorney support. And so making it easy for attorneys to jump in and support them is one of the exciting things about the DocDraft platform. And then I guess the last piece of it that's similar is, at RVShare, when you bought an RV, historically, you had made a big financial mistake. Like the utilization rate is quite low. And so the people that own the RVs were often looking for ways to make back money. And RVShare really enabled that through the marketplace. Now, it's a little different, obviously, on the legal side, but there's about 1.3 million lawyers in America. Of that 1.3 million lawyers, there's only 850,000 of them don't work at a top 500 firm. And what that really means is that there's a long tail of attorneys who are working at small shops or working independently and are looking to engage with more clients. And DocDraft makes that easy for them to do because we are the aggregator of that work. And then we make it simple for them to just engage with clients on the actual legal matters, the things that they want to engage on, and not have to worry about business development or not have to worry about client acquisition.
Very cool. On that last point, I could see that someone might come across your platform and kind of say, hey, this is somewhat of a threat to the legal space, right? Like we are kind of democratizing legal complex documentation. But on the other hand, like you mentioned, it is a tool and an aid for lawyers to potentially get clients or maybe to simplify the time it takes for themselves to basically create these documents. So yeah, how do lawyers kind of perceive DocDraft when you present it to them?
Yeah, I mean, look, most lawyers love what we do. And that's because we really play in the middle. And that's really an unaddressed market today. So if you think about the legal services industry as a whole, obviously a very big industry, like size at like 350 billion, we actually think it's undersized, like dramatically undersized. And so the way that people engage with the legal system today is basically one of two things. Either they try to go at it on their own. And so they basically try to draft things either from online templates that they can find or pulling up Word and kind of winging it themselves. And by the way, that's 75% of people are doing that. Then there's the 25% that are engaging with a law firm, right? And they hire, we're in Philly, so maybe like a Morgan Stanley or someone down the street, and they let them run the process. And that's okay too. But really, the opportunity is in the middle. The opportunity is to help people that were going at it on their own. Again, that's 75%, and help give them better tooling so that they can get further along on their own, and then actually help them engage with attorneys, right? So again, not the attorneys that are working at a Morgan Stanley, but the ones that are more mom and pop or independent practitioners coming in and supporting that process. And so we're really growing the legal services industry as we see it, because we're bringing more do-it-yourselfers into the fold where now they are more willing to engage with attorneys on specific matters. And so the actual ability for lawyers to earn income has gone up through DocDraft.
Pretty cool.
A good analogy here is like if you think about the effect of Uber long term on the taxi industry. Like there might be some short term conflict, but long term, actually more people make money driving cars thanks to Uber, right?
It's grown the market, yeah. And one of the things I feel like is critical to mention here is that the pricing is like $10 a month, which is in anything related to the legal space. I mean, that's just ridiculously affordable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious why you decided to choose that price point when people are usually like used to paying hundreds of dollars per hour, and also why you felt a SaaS sort of subscription model what was the right approach as opposed to maybe like a notarized, which does $25 for the per document type of thing.
Yeah. So it's a great question. We actually started out selling a la carte, just like Notarize, right? Where each legal document you paid a flat amount and you got the document. But one of the things we noticed is that legal needs are actually both nonlinear and frequent, and they also compound. And what I mean by that is like, say you're starting a company. You don't just need an article of incorporation, right? There's other documents that go into the company formation process. And we didn't want to create a system where we were basically nickeling and diming our customers for every additional document. In fact, that is one of the problems that our customers typically see with the legal services industry more broadly. And so through a monthly subscription and a low dollar one at that, we're able to actually support our clients in a far more holistic way. And then we're able to help them connect with attorneys as and whenever they feel appropriate. So say you're going through the process of forming a company, right? There might be certain documents where you really think attorneys should review it, like in articles of incorporation. There might be other ones where you actually don't think that's as important because the more templatized or the more basic documents might be appropriate. And that's okay too, right? So we just want to help empower clients more fundamentally, and doing it through a subscription made sense for that reason, right? So you're able to pull people in as and when you see fit. And then the last piece is like it gives us the opportunity to continue to do more and more for our customers. For example, help them collaborate on those legal documents with their colleagues, help them get those documents fulfilled and signed over time. So it actually starts the right kind of relationship for us where we get to invest more and more in the product and earn the right to retain those customers over the course of months, years, and hopefully decades.
Love it. Yeah. I mean, when you say that it's compounding, it makes sense that often the need of a legal document is indicative of a life event that is going to require more things down the line, like you mentioned, kind of starting a business. If I'm not mistaken, your background is not in law. And so did you find any reservations about getting into this space or any hurdles to overcome just to kind of understand the landscape?
Well, I grew up in a family of lawyers. My grandfather was a lawyer. My mom's a lawyer. My uncle's a lawyer. My brother's a lawyer. So I've grown up kind of surrounded by it. And in particular, like my mom has been running a solo firm basically my whole life, actually here in the Philly suburbs. And so I've really grown up seeing those challenges up close, which is around things like client acquisition and then the scope of the work, fulfillment, all of those things that the attorney sees. And so to create a product and platform that helps service both attorneys and customers, right, like myself, who might be starting a business, it's really exciting.
Very cool. What do you have planned next for the platform? Any upcoming maybe product announcements, releases, features?
Yeah. So I mean, we're always looking to figure out ways that we can better support our customers and better structure the process for our attorneys. And so that's the kind of journey we're on right now. And so I think I mentioned earlier things like signature coming in the next few months, basically features that help the client go more end to end, not just getting a document, but also being able to collaborate on that document, finalize that document, store that document long term, get recommendations on what other documents they might want to have, and then make it easier and easier for them to get an attorney to review very specific parts of that, right? Which could be one of those documents. It could be a specific question, right? Like actually, I'm starting a company and I don't know if I should form an LLC or a C corp. Things like that. That again may not even be the whole document. It might just be a specific question. We want to get better and better at allowing the clients to engage at the level that they want to. And so these are the types of kind of product releases that we have coming in the next few months.
Nice. Over the 2 years you've been running it, have there been any surprises or ups and downs that kind of, maybe you weren't expecting as a startup founder?
Yeah, no, it's all been up and to the right. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, there's always challenges starting a company, but I think the biggest one for us was that, we actually didn't start out selling to consumers. Our original thesis, the one that we actually raised our pre-seed round on, was around selling to firms. And so we were still focused on drafting, so the name didn't need to change to DocDraft, but we were focused on making it easier for lawyers to draft documents faster. And so we were kind of caught in these long procurement cycles with larger firms. And while we were doing that, we thought, let's launch something for smaller law firms just to see how they engage in the product and to refine the UX. And when we did that, we saw an overwhelming response. 80+% of our users were non-lawyers looking for legal help. And that was the real light bulb moment for us. And as we looked more and more into that market, we saw both how large it was. In fact, it's actually larger than the traditional legal services market, and how unmet the need was, right? There's almost no tooling out there for these folks. And that's what really kind of took us in that direction. And so reorienting the company and realigning was obviously really challenging, but we were able to get through that over the past few months.
Nice. Yeah, it's an interesting little pivot. It's obviously not a complete, change, but definitely an adjustment, I would imagine.
Yeah.
To hear for people that want to get in touch with you, learn more about DocDraft, where should they go?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter. You can check out our website, docdraft.ai. Feel free to message me on LinkedIn. I'm the only person in the world with my name, so I'm pretty easy to find.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being on the show. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
That's all for today's episode of Philly Tech Connect. Join our community at phillytechentrepreneurs.com. Special thanks to our sponsor, shortlist.io, a digital marketing agency specializing in top-notch link building, content strategy, and web design. Stay innovative, Philly, and see you next time on Philly Tech Connect.